Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We are going to go ahead and get started with our program for today. We want to, first of all, thank you for your patience as we were getting folks registered and getting into the building and getting their students in place as well. So thank you so much for being here. Well, good morning again, Fairfax County community. How about a round of applause? Let's get going on this Saturday morning. We want to officially welcome you to our 2025 Family Summit. I am Dr. Terry Edmonds-Hurd, and I serve as the Assistant Superintendent for the Department of Special Services. First and foremost, I want to thank you all for just being here. We know that it's a big sacrifice for you and your families to be here on a Saturday morning, first thing. If you're like me, you had to set the alarm a little early this morning so that you could get up and be in place on time. So thank you for making that sacrifice for your student, as well as for our school community and for our community as a whole. Thank you for being here. When you came in, you had a big welcome. How about our Westfield Cheer Squad? Let's give them a big round of applause and thank them for being up first thing this morning and welcoming us. We hope that they made you feel welcomed and valued for being here this morning. I also want to put out a special thank you to South Lakes High School team, Principal Seward, Becky Slate, and Mike Brown for not only allowing us to just use the building here this morning, but also providing us with lots of support, lots of resources, lots of information. We just appreciate them helping us to get this summit off and to a great start. To officially kick off today's program, I would like to introduce to you the South Lakes High School JROTC, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the presentation of colors. Would you please stand for the presentation of colors and the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. Order! Up!
You may be seated. We want to thank our South Lakes High School JROTC again. Let's give them a round of applause. That was such a great job. Today is certainly going to be a great day of learning, reflection, and networking. In addition to our thank yous, I also want to thank our Family Summit Steering Committee, who was responsible for organizing today's event. Our committee included representatives from several departments within our division, along with parents and community members from organizations throughout our county. We also want to thank the Educate Fairfax team, who through its partnership helped with funding for this summit as well. Here is our schedule for today. Shortly, we will begin our opening session, which will include a brief intermission. Following our lunch break, we will have an opportunity to attend choice breakout sessions. We love choice, right? Come on, y'all, we love some choice, right? We love being able to choose where we're going to go. Don't forget that the student showcase and exhibitor halls kicks off at 12 o'clock p.m. please take a moment to show your support for our students and community partners. We also want to remind you that there is a mother's room in the Media Center. A calm area is available in room 331, and the meditation and silent reflection space in the chorus room are also in room 348. I want to take a moment and recognize members of our school board. Attending today, first, the Honorable Sandy Anderson, Vice Chair and Representative for the Springfield District. The Honorable Melanie Marin, representing the Hunter Mill District, who we will hear from in a few minutes. The Honorable Marcia St. John Cunning, who represent the Franconia District. The Honorable Robin Lady, representing the Drainsville District. The Honorable Rashna Sizemore Heiser, representing the Braddock District. The Honorable Sandy Anderson, representing the Springfield District. We're going to do her double. The Honorable Iliong Moon, Member at Large, and our student representative, Megan Sawant. There she is. I hope that I got everyone. We welcome all of our school board members who are ultimately here to represent and support all of our families and students. We also have several members of our leadership team here. First, I would like to welcome and thank our superintendent, Dr. Michelle Reed, for her support with the summit. Next, I would like to ask that other members of our leadership team who are here to please stand if you are able. Thank you. Mr. Smith? Yes, thank you. Thank you all as well for being here this morning. This summit, this experience, this demonstration of community all centers on one thing, our students. So thank you all for the parents, educators, and community partners who are here to join us in this work, ensuring that each and every one of our students has the opportunity to live an educational experience that is grounded in excellence, equity, and opportunity. At this time, I would like to welcome Ms. Melanie Marin, our school board member representing the Hunter Mill District. Ms. Marin is here to bring greetings and discuss ways in which our school board has continued to partner, advocate, and serve our families and community. Thank you, Ms. Marin.
Thank you, Dr. Edmonds-Hurd. Well, good morning. Welcome to South Lakes High School in the Hunter Mill District. Perhaps this was a bit of a jaunt for some of you. You might not get over to this part of the county, but we're really thrilled to have you. And I'm so thrilled that so many of our school board members are here. You know, our job is to make sure that the work that we know your students need happens, and that our teachers are equipped with the resources that they need. And right now is a critical time. We're working on the budget. We want to make sure every student gets what they need to fill their potential. I also want to say, way to go to be here. Not only is it a morning, but it's a Saturday, and it's hard. And I'm sure there are many other parents and family members who would like to be here who can't. So give yourself a little congratulations for making it here today. You know, there's always something to learn on the journey when you have a child and a student. When you have a student with special needs, it really doesn't stop. So I have a 9th grader here, and I have a 6th grader. And just this week, I was discussing my 6th grader's IEP for his transition into middle school. He's dyslexic. And now I'm learning about what services in middle school look like. I'm also learning how to parent a teenager. So there's always something, and I know it can feel like it's never enough, but being here really is just, I'm so glad to be with you on this journey. And I want to say also that I know there's some uncertainty. We get a lot of questions about the future of special education given federal funding, but I know that in Fairfax we will continue to fund and support every child to the best of their full potential. So the great thing is that we have an amazing school system here locally, and that's what's going to matter for our children and our staff. So we support our public schools. So I hope that you are inspired and informed and connected so that our children thrive. And I know myself and my colleagues, we look forward to learning with you today. So thank you to staff, and have a wonderful day here today.
Thank you, Ms. Marin. We appreciate those kind words and information also as well, and we appreciate the work of the school board. I would now like to welcome Dr. Michelle Reed at this time, who would also like to say a few words. Following Dr. Reed, Mrs. Elizabeth Zielinski, Chair of the Advisory Committee for Students with Disabilities, and Mr. Mike Bloom, our Director of Special Education Instruction, will present the First Class Awards.
So good morning. How is everybody this morning? Pretty good. Well, welcome to the Family Summit for 2025, and we are thrilled that you are here. And the fact that so many of our board members are here, I have to signal to you that this is a high priority for our school division, because we recognize that when any child isn't learning to their potential, all of us lose out, right? We need everybody learning to their full potential to appreciate all of our full potential. So I think the title for today's event, Beyond Labels, Nurturing a Culture of Belonging, is so important. And as you're going to hear Dr. Causton speak in a little bit, this isn't just about having an opportunity to be sort of together in classes or activities, but authentically participating and feeling that deep sense of belonging to the full community and the full menu of options and opportunities here in Fairfax County. This is a blessed county. We have resources, we have amazing staff, amazing elected leadership. There isn't anything we can't do. And coming together on a day like today and having the opportunity to share expertise, to hear from folks who work around the country, and to hear from each other in the sessions is just really something we should really be grateful for. So I don't know about you, but my heart, of course, I bound out of bed early every morning. It drove my family crazy for years. I can't not bound out of bed before 5. So for me, it's almost mid-morning. But what really kind of excites me every day is being with our kids. How many of you appreciated those cheerleaders this morning? Like they were cheering before 9 o'clock, right? Can you imagine cheerleaders getting you up every morning? Wouldn't that be something like, woohoo, every morning we get out of bed and have a chance to do it all over again, right? Just so excited. I also want to give a shout out to Dr. Spikes, who helped coordinate a lot of this work. So Dr. Spikes. And I want to say that yesterday I had about an hour-long conversation with one of our board members on just our next steps as a county and a community in this really transformational work. And I am excited. I reread my notes last night, and there are so many opportunities for us right now. It's really an opportunity-rich environment. And I can't wait to continue being on the journey with you. I also want to say hello to Armand and the team up there. Thanks for making this all work, Armand. And I have to say, last night, I missed you at our family vision meeting. I know, I heard you were here. That's what we do in Fairfax. We get ready, we plan, we make sure that one another are successful, right? So couldn't be more excited to be here this morning. If you see me duck out a little bit later, I've got another opportunity to be with members of our community a little later this morning. Temperature in here is just fine. We're going to heat it up, but heat it up from the heart. So anyhow, glad to be here this morning. And am I turning it back over to you, Terry? All right, I'm giving it back to Dr. Edmonds-Hurd. So let's have a great morning. Thank you for being here.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Elizabeth Zielinski. I'm the chair of the Advisory Committee for Students with Disabilities. Our committee is a state-mandated advisory committee to the school board. In fact, Fairfax County had one before we were state-mandated, which is an argument for all of the things that Dr. Reed just shared with us. I'm actually married to somebody who leaps out of bed before 5 a.m., and it is true that drives their family crazy. Facts. So what I'd like to share with you first is that these awards are the hardest, best job that the ACSD does. In our advisory role, we tend to get stuck on what needs guidance. This needs no guidance, but we are a resource-rich county, and as such, we have many, many nominees who are doing phenomenal work. So it becomes the hardest job because we have to choose between them. I cannot overestimate how phenomenal these people are. It is a joy that not only do we get to read about this work, but to know that somebody felt strongly enough about it to write to us. So keep that in mind as I share some of these comments with you. These are directly taken from the nominations. To begin, the nature of our awards are that we looking for modeling excellence in their in the role that these staff members play and community members play. Excuse me. Oh, look, there you are. Modeling excellence in their role relative to special education. They make a positive impact that benefits disabled and non-disabled students alike, and they are committed to creating an inclusive environment and mindset. I'd like to begin our awards in our elementary teacher category. Our first award is for the elementary school teacher, and it is given to Mandy Walter, the severe disability teacher at Poplar Tree Elementary School, of which both of my kids are grads. Thank you very much. They said about Mandy that there she is. She advocates for inclusive environments for all students. She held an inclusive book club for students to participate in supported book discussions. What she did was she brought in the general education students to facilitate the conversations. She works with the PTA to ensure that all school events and activities are inclusive and accessible to the entire community. A direct quote from her nominator: "She advocates and educates the school community about her students in a way that feels collaborative and kind." I know her personally, and those truer words could not be spoken. Round of applause for Mandy, please. Next up, I want to mention about this category in particular. This is another elementary school teacher. We typically don't give out 2 awards in the same category. The reason we made the decision to give out a second award in this category is because this teacher could not be turned away. She doesn't directly teach students with disabilities. She's a general education teacher, but her modeling of inclusive settings are, what was told to me about the judges shared with me about her nomination was that she is modeling exactly the form of universal design that the district wants to implement across the board. And it was so impressive as a best practice that we couldn't give this award without recognizing her within it. What was said about her? She ensures her classroom is structured to support diverse learning needs, creating a truly inclusive space. She proactively implements scaffolds and strategies benefiting all students, not just those with disabilities, and uses positive language with students to support their progress. A quote from her nominator: "Mrs. O'Hara has an engagement style that allows all children to flourish, regardless of disability. Her class is the true definition of inclusion." Please celebrate Kimberly O'Hara, teacher trainee from Coates Elementary School. Please join us. Next up, we are moving on to elementary school support staff. This winner creates engaging school-wide displays that celebrate diversity and foster an inclusive school environment. They build lasting relationships with students, motivating them to take responsibility for their learning, and encourages struggling readers and makes learning engaging with creative strategies. Their nominee said, "The most defining thing about her is her focus on student advocacy and improvement. She is a motivating force for the students." Please celebrate Melissa Richardson, Special Education Instructional Assistant from Forestdale Elementary School. Elementary school administrator. The administrators never get the love, do they? This administrator promotes positive interactions with students and families to foster trust and increased community participation, demonstrates respect and compassion for all students, and upholds consistent academic standards for all students while acknowledging that each student is at a unique stage in their academic journey. Said about this individual: "She consistently demonstrates respect and compassion for all students she engages with and is dedicated to safeguarding students' dignity." Please celebrate elementary school administrator Melissa Johnson, assistant principal at Bonnie Bray Elementary School. Moving on to the middle and high school categories. This individual is our middle and/or high school teacher category. This individual consistently demonstrates excellence in her role by fostering a welcoming and inclusive environment for all students, proactively collaborates with school event planners to ensure all students are included, instrumental in establishing Best Buddies and Special Olympics programs at this high school, works closely with families to build a collaborative team approach between home and school to ensure the whole child is understood. What was said about this individual is that she encourages all of her students to participate in the school community activities, which has resulted in increased involvement in areas like theater, automotive, and computer classes. Please celebrate Elizabeth Frontczak, multiple disabilities teacher at Chantilly High School. My kids are also graduates of Chantilly, so I can completely vouch for that community. Next up is the middle or high school administrator. This individual had multiple nominations, which doesn't happen often. We do have a few, but it doesn't happen often. They advocate to ensure that every student who receives special education services at this school is known by name, by need, and by strength. They foster positive relationships with families with a compassionate and positive mindset, and they lead with persistence and care, as seen in her work helping a previously homebound student transition to full school attendance through patient individualized support. What was said about this individual? She makes time to move mountains for all of the special education students here, and you can tell her heart is in every decision she makes. Please celebrate Angela Perez, Special Education Department Chair at Whitman Middle School. Next up, Central Office staff member. This individual actively seeks solutions to meet the diverse needs of students, including those in online campus health and physical education and students receiving homebound instruction. They are passionate about promoting opportunities for students to participate in physical activity and athletics within the community, and they focus on individualization, ensuring that every student has the opportunity to access instruction and experience success. I like to take a direct quote from the nomination when I do this, but I had an IEP meeting at a school this week, and I mentioned this particular winner to somebody, and that individual said this to me. I'm using this with permission. He's the best leader I've worked with in my 27 years in this field. Please celebrate Brad Weiner, educational specialist from Adapted Physical Education. All right. In the specialist category, starting with elementary, this individual collaborates with teachers across disciplines to enrich the learning experience for all students, creates a dynamic, welcoming space with diverse book collections, interactive storytelling, author visits, and STEAM learning opportunities, and encourages all students to participate in school initiatives, fosters personal connections, and ensures the library is a safe, engaging space for learning and growth. Please celebrate, what's said about her is, she is a master of her craft, creating a vibrant and engaging learning environment that fosters a love of reading and learning. Please celebrate Cannon Kangro, librarian at Claremont Elementary School. See, I told you there was a lot of good resources in this county. Specialist from the middle and high school category. This individual coordinates the Best Buddies and Unified Team Basketball program at their high school and includes local students from Davis Career Center. They foster robust peer support in both programs, which allows disabled students to hang out and play sports with non-disabled peers, and believes in the importance of inclusion and works hard to make unified team events fun and rewarding for all students. What was said in this person's nominee was, their clubs and teams have had an immeasurable positive impact on students, allowing them the opportunity to learn how to be part of a team and make social connections they would not otherwise have. Please celebrate Sarah Espinol, speech-language pathologist from Marshall High School. We have a separate category for our specialty programs. That's what I'm going to cover next. This individual, it guides families through the transition from FCPS to adult services, providing direct support, community connections, and individualized planning with respect and compassion. They build strong relationships with students, ensuring they feel supported, empowered, and prepared for life beyond school. And they strengthen and expand partnerships with local businesses to provide real-world learning experiences for students. Said about this nominee, the skills she has allow our students to lead lives of their own choosing once they leave FCPS. It would not be as possible for them without her. Please celebrate Teresa Piccolo, Career and Transition Teacher from Davis Career Center. So our next category is a new category that the ACSD decided to add because we were finding in our nominations that there were teams that worked together that created something that was greater than the sum of their parts. And we couldn't not acknowledge that these environments existed within our division. And so I'm going to tell you today about our special education team. This team anticipates challenges and develops plans to ensure seamless support for all students. They use data-driven decision-making to ensure accessibility for all students. They support colleagues, administrators, and students in fostering a strong and inclusive learning environment, and they work collaboratively across multiple grade levels with various educators, specialists, and families to ensure student success. Please celebrate Laura Summit, Christina Winkler, Madeline Wood, Elizabeth Rindurl, and Sylvia Epez Yanez from Rolling Valley Elementary School and their assistive technology services. Said about that, forgot to add the quote. This group of professionals set a high standard, viewing education and inclusion not as separate tasks, but as a right of all students in the school building. Isn't that beautiful? So, I have saved some of the best for last. The next two awards I'm going to give are not FCPS employees. They are people within our FCPS community and family that don't do what they do because they get a paycheck. Not that any of you do that, because certainly you have to be drawn to this field. But these are special in their own way simply because they are independent within the community. First is our community partner. This organization goes above and beyond to ensure our students have meaningful and inclusive community work experiences. They take time to make connections and get to know the students' strengths, and they ensure the managers and staff are all prepared to work with students each day. Said about this nomination, this organization takes the time to make connections and get to know everyone. They give students confidence that they are qualified for employment. Please celebrate Ace Hardware in Fairfax City and Tyler Duke, their manager. And with all due respect to our fabulous staff members, I did save the best for last. I want to recognize a student. In our student category, we had an unprecedented 4 separate nominations for this individual. I could not be more impressed, and I'm waiting for this person to just change the world because they've already started. This student fosters positive relationships and ensures that no student feels left out, whether in or out of the classroom. They consistently foster a collaborative learning environment through patience and understanding, enabling peer success and promoting mutual support among students. And they demonstrate effective self-advocacy, serving as a positive role model for peer empowerment. Said about this nominee, through his actions, this student exemplifies the true meaning of inclusion and has positively influenced both his peers and teachers in fostering an inclusive educational setting. Please celebrate Joel Silvera, 9th grade student at Lake Braddock Secondary School. And one final round of applause, please, for all of our winners, those who couldn't be here as well.
Let's just give our ACSD one more round of applause for their class presentations. They are appreciated. Next, we're going to go on, and I'd like to introduce our featured speakers for today. We will have with us Dr. Julie Causton, and as well as Dr. Kristie Pretti-Frontczak. Dr. Julie Causton is an educator who is educated in elementary, middle, and high school as a special education teacher. She's always worked in inclusive settings. She has also worked to increase inclusive settings throughout our country as well. We're very, very happy to have her here today working with us on our presentation. Dr. Kristie Pretti-Frontczak is also an experienced educator. She has mainly focused on early childhood and adult learners. She's a tenured professor. Both of them are tenured professors, with Dr. Causton being at Syracuse University and Dr. Pretti-Frontczak being at Kent State University. They both have a passion for the delivery of instruction as well as increasing inclusive schooling. So they are our featured presenters for today, and they will be spending the bulk of our morning with you this morning. So I would like them to make their way to the stage, and let's give them a round of applause. We're excited to have them with us today.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be with you all. We're just going to switcheroo here, and I'll get us set up, and Julie will get us started.
Okay. I'm going to share a story this morning that I didn't plan on sharing, but it just came to me. So, I was what'd you say? By way of a little bird. So, I was a brand new teacher. And I want you to know that I love teaching. I was brand new. I just graduated from the University of Madison, Wisconsin, and I was thrilled to be able to do the work of teaching. I got to my first day, I met all my staff members, and somebody handed me a stack of IEPs. So I was like, okay, this is my IEP stack. So I'm walking back to my office, and someone goes, oh, you have Claire. And I said, yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked yet. I don't know who's on my, I don't know. Yeah, I can see by that very, very large, specific folder with all the bright yellow tabs and stuff on it that you have Claire. I'm like, no problem. Whoever Claire is, I got this because I've graduated from an excellent school. I don't know about you, but for some reason, I brought all my textbooks from learning how to teach to the classroom. I thought that would help me. So I brought them all, I was like set, and they're like, I don't think you understand. You have Claire. And I'm like, don't worry, I got this, okay? I run into the principal who goes, oh gosh, Julie, you have Claire on your caseload. I said, yeah. You're a brand new teacher? I said, yeah. Oh God. Then he goes, no, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. It's not Claire. She is awesome. Claire has cerebral palsy, autism. She uses eye gaze to communicate. She has pretty significant needs. She's awesome. It's not Claire, but it's her mother. I'm like, what? What's up with her mother? What's the problem? And they go, well, she's sued the school district 3 times. She's only in 4th grade, and she's a lawyer, and her husband's a lawyer. And he shows me a picture of her. And I look at the picture, I'm like, she has a hat on, she looks nice, she's standing by a lake. Like, this can't be bad, So, my textbooks, they say to have a meeting with the parent. And they say that it's a good idea, especially if it's a challenging parent, to meet somewhere outside of the home or school environment. So I say, Mrs. Philpott, do you want to meet with me? And she's like, and you are who? And I said, I'm a new teacher. I'm going to be Claire's case manager. I'm her 4th grade teacher. It's going to be great. I do all-inclusive services, so it's going to be an inclusive 4th grade classroom, and Claire will be my student. Okay, sure. It was very welcoming, right? All right, so she says, let's meet at the Perkins. So I zip to the Perkins, and I want to appear older. I look very young as a brand new teacher, so I decide to order coffee for the first time. She's late, and I decide to drink a lot of coffee with a lot of sugar and a lot of cream. So I'm nearly ready to barf by the time she gets here, okay? So in she comes, and she sits down, and she takes her sunglasses off, because she would wear sunglasses when she takes them off, and she says, all right, so what's this about? And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm Julie. I'm going to be Claire's teacher. I just thought I'd meet, and my textbook says to say, tell me your story. So I got this down. I go, tell me your story. And she's like, where do you want me to start? I go, from the beginning. She goes, from the beginning? Yeah, okay. Here's how it went. My daughter, who's in a wheelchair, I bring her to kindergarten registration, and I start to sign the forms, and someone goes, oh, is this Claire? This is Claire? Yes. Oh, have you heard of the Rainbow School? Yes. You should send her to the Rainbow School. It's lovely. Let me get a brochure. And they go back, and they get a brochure about the Rainbow School. And she's like, no. My daughter's going to come to school where her brother goes. My daughter's going to come here. You know what? Take this brochure, get to your van, and what we'll do is have another meeting with you. That happens twice. Then she goes, then I get smart. And the third school, it also happens to be in her neighborhood. It's called Eldon Elementary. The third school, she says, I didn't bring Claire to the registration. Okay? I wrote down all the things. You know, she has cerebral palsy. She has autism. She uses eye gaze to communicate. She's going to need a lot of support. I wrote it all down, and then she goes, this is how I did it. You'll get my sense of humor by the end, but just know I'm going to act this out, okay? Okay. She goes, so I made sure the doors to the school were open. And what I did is I put a little name tag on Claire. I go, this is Claire. You've read about her. And then what I did is I went like this. I ran really fast, and I shot her in, and then I went back to my house, okay? She goes, it didn't take long until the phone rings. Mrs. Philpott, I'm Claire's kindergarten teacher. What am I supposed to do with Claire? Oh, well, what are the other kids doing, she says. They're making a welcome to school bear craft. Oh, have Claire make a welcome to school bear craft. You know, you can support her when you need, for sure, but I think that's what I would do. The next phone call comes from the art teacher. Mrs. Philpott, what if Claire eats the paste? I don't know. Have you ever had any other children in your school eat the paste or anything that's not food related? Well, sure, we have. Oh, how about you teach her not to eat the paste then? Okay, the third phone call comes from the physical education teacher, and he is straight up pissed. And he says, what if Claire gets hit in the head with a ball? This is frankly dangerous. And she says, oh, gosh, I didn't think of that. Have any other students in your school ever been hit in the head with a ball? Yeah? What do? We send him to the nurse, usually, typically. Oh, good, yes. If that happens to Claire, would you do the same thing? Would you send her to the nurse? And you can apply ice, and you don't have to call me. You know what I mean? You can aspirin, whatever you need. It's going to be great. So you know where this is headed, the IEP meeting. Everybody comes to the table. Claire's there. Jackie's there. Larry's there, the husband. They're all sitting around the table, and they say, we love Claire. You know, she's been here for a month and everything, and she's awesome. But have you heard of the Rainbow School? At the Rainbow School, they have therapists. They have horseback riding. It's going to be great. You know, it's beautiful. If, like, so many therapists and supports, you wouldn't believe it. It's perfect for Claire. And Jackie said, no, Claire's going to school here in her neighborhood school. And it's not exactly the first neighborhood school, so that's the problem in the story, but let's just imagine it is. And finally someone says this. Mrs. Philpott, it's just that, I don't know how to say this. Claire is a fire hazard. And Jackie's like, what, a fire hazard? Do you let her play with matches? Or what are you talking about, fire hazard? No, it's just that if she couldn't get out, you know what I mean? Like if we'd have to carry her, and it's just a fire hazard to have her here. And so have you ever heard of the Rainbow School? We're gonna make sure that you know what's there, okay? So she does what blew my mind. She says, so what I did is I asked, just remember, I'm still at Perkins, shaking from the coffee, about to barf, listening to the story, going, oh no, I did not read about this in my textbook. So the IEP team is all seated around the table, and she does something that I never would expect. She goes, hey, okay, I understand the fire thing. I get that. Can you give me a tour of the building? So everybody follows her around the building, and it's real weird, and no one knows what to do. And she finally gets to the cornerstone of the building. Do you know the cornerstone that says, like, when the building was created? And she goes, 1972. This building is old. All right, and then she turns to the group. Just how many fires have there been, roughly, estimate for me, since 1972? Like, how many big fires have there been since 1972, where you had to carry the children out? And they're all like, none. And she goes, ooh, okay, let me figure the probability in my head then. None. Okay, this is carry the 1, 72, 8, 6, 5. Ooh, the probability is low. So she goes, well, I'm a lawyer, and she's going to go to school here. So let me ask you this. If there's a fire, you can let her burn. I love her, though, because she's my child. Like, do you have children? You know how you feel about them, like a great love. So if you could save her, that'd be awesome. But she's coming to school here, and that's how it's going to go. Do you have any questions? And the IEP team sat there wide-eyed, right? So this is the beginning of my teaching career. And I forgot to tell you that I decided to try to look older, like I said, so I was drinking a bunch of coffee. And then I got apple earrings, you know, and an apple jumper was what I was wearing that day, because I thought, you know what, I've got to look the part, okay? Apple earrings, apple jumper, red turtleneck, just like ready to go. And then I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Teaching is not what I thought. Teaching is not only about all the strategies and techniques and things that I've learned. It is about families and their dreams for children. It is about doing things in new ways that haven't been done in this school system before, because this family really wants their child included. I'll fast forward Claire's life really quickly to tell you that she was included every minute of every day in school. I was her 4th grade teacher. I love Claire. Claire has more friends than I'll ever have. Claire's friends knew how to support her in ways that for example, I was trying to support her in an art class, and I was like, how do I have Claire pick the paint? And they were like, you use the spinner, and she chooses it. And they explained it to me, and it was like so great. And then basically I was able to step away, and they're like, just move out of the way. We know how to support Claire. Just move out of the way. We got this. Claire was educated beautifully all through elementary, all through middle, all through high school, included every minute. Claire went to college. Claire has a full-time job. Claire has more friends than I will ever have. Claire hangs out with lots of people on the weekends and has a full, enriched life. And that's the moment where I went, oh, teaching is different than I thought. I'm going to pause for a second, and I'm going to have you do a turn and talk. Turn and talk. What does this story mean to you? What came to your mind, okay? Everybody turn and talk. Ready, go. I was like, let me try to remember that story.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There's a bunch more to come.
A little bit later.
Okay, take care.
Well, the clicker's not working now than it was before. It was? Yeah. doing the turn and talk?
Let's do this just to get into regular life. Or I don't care, Kristie, you can skip anything.
No, I'm asking. I'm not asking you to ask me.
Oh, I'd like to go in order like we planned.
Okay, but because we've done nothing that we planned, so.
I know,
No, I'm saying, because I don't know which one we're doing. Yeah. So, are we doing that? Okay.
Do you hate this one?
I don't understand two stories back to back.
Okay,
But,
we'll just do it later.
okay.
Do you want to leave this?
No.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to bring you back in lots of different ways today, and so is my colleague Kristie. The first way I'm going to bring you back is if you can hear me, clap one time. If you can hear me, clap twice. Okay. These are transitions that we're going to use throughout today because we care that learning is interactive. We care that you chat with people. We care that when we tell a story or share a strategy, that it comes to life for you. So clap once is the example I just made. One of my other favorites is sometimes I'm going to say, and a hush fell over the room. And all of us are going to go, shh. Are you ready? And a hush fell over the room. Shh. Beautiful. You probably looked ahead at this one. Are you excited? Okay, it goes like, someone goes, no. Okay, Sweet Caroline. Oh, beautiful. This group is great. And then sometimes I'll just say signal on, and it means just the peace sign, like that, okay? So those transitions Kristie and I will use to bring you back together. Okay, perfect. I'm just going to share an introduction of myself really quickly. So my name is Julie. I live in New York. When my son introduced me to his second grade teacher, he goes, my mom's a doctor, but she's not the kind that helps people. And it's my favorite introduction I've ever had because it really low stakes, right? You're just like, it's great, perfect. I have very cute children, Ella and Sam. Sam just graduated Brown University. Ella is at Skidmore. I have a cute wife up there. That's Ellen. She's hilarious and a lot of fun. I have too many mammals that live in my house. I have 3 cats. One of my cats is a one-eyed cat named Skippy John Jones. I also have a dog named the marvelous Miss Maisel. Yeah, and she uses those buttons to talk. Have you seen on the other day, I swear to you, I'm on the phone with the vet, and I'm making an appointment for a heartworm test, and I get off the phone, and Maisel goes over to her buttons and goes, concerned. Concerned. Like, what are you concerned about? Vet. No. Thank you. So your dogs can boss you around when they talk like that, which is pretty cool. And I've written lots and lots of books. Oh, I taught elementary, middle, high school. This is my passion, my dream, to help schools become more inclusive. I love it so, so much. I was a full-time professor at Syracuse University for 14 years, and I ran the inclusive elementary program teaching teachers how to do this work. And I've written lots of books. I have ADHD as an attribute and a superpower, and it's very significant. And I think I just wrote so many books because I have a lot of energy, and it keeps me out of trouble to do stuff like that, okay? So now my favorite part is I get to introduce my co-teacher, Dr. Kristie Pretti-Frontczak, who is amazing, and I can't wait for you to meet her.
I got my own.
Oh.
You can have all your own things.
Wow,
we don't even have to share today.
I love it.
We, at one point, decided when it was the height of the pandemic that we were going to get a motorhome to travel around to do this. And then we decided that wasn't a good idea. We would just be an online company, but we make an exception by coming to Fairfax. Today we decided we would have not survived in the motorhome together. So she'll be on that side of the stage and I'll be on this side. And
I said, who would murder the other one first was the question I wanted to know.
yeah, and we decided that Julie's very, sweet and kind. And I said, but I'm strong enough that I could make you want to kill me. All right, so Julie lives in New York. I live in Ohio, but I believe I'm from the West, so I always like to talk about my West Coast roots. Anyone else a West Coast United States person? Just Sloan and me? Okay, there's a few, great. All right, good stuff. I was born in Utah, some states you may or may not have heard of. Raised in Idaho. Anyone? You enjoy your potatoes?
Yes.
You're welcome. And then I went and lived in Oregon for a while, and now I live in Ohio. So we say that I live only in states that have vowels, but I'm not moving to Alabama. So just letting everybody know. My dog is not as brilliant as the amazing Miss Maisel, so he had to show you that he's learning to drive truck. That's what we do in Idaho, is we drive truck. I don't know if you guys know that phrase. Potato trucks. Okay. And my husband's also not cute, but don't tell him I said that on the stage. Julie's kind of still a newlywed. I'm in a long-term sentence, so that's why one's cute and funny and the other one not so much. Let's see, what else is on there? As Terry said, my area of love and passion beyond just inclusion is early childhood. So for any of you who share a passion for 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, we can talk at any time. I always think that kids are old once they hit kindergarten. I'm like, ooh, they're old. And now I've been like hanging out in secondary, and I'm like, they're really old. A little bit scary too, but that's another story. And yeah, let's see, I was faculty at Kent State University for a long time, and now Julie and I do this full time. We're leaving for Australia, as long as we make it home today. A week from Friday, we're headed to Australia to do inclusion there. And I've written some books as well, and I'm learning to West Coast swing. Anybody a Westie? Yeah, or an Eastie, or a ballroom. Yeah. Okay. That's all I got for you, friends. But no, I will not show you any of my moves.
Yes, that's what we're wanting.
We're super excited to be with you today. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go through our agenda. We did a little bit of welcoming. We did a little bit of opening activities. We're going to talk about 5 strategies today. And the 5 strategies that we're talking about is how do we make Fairfax school system even more inclusive? They're all about that. And today we're kind of balancing the message between families and staff and faculty and everybody, getting the concepts around inclusive education. We've been working really hard in Fairfax for a short amount of time, and we plan to work in Fairfax for a lot longer, supporting your school systems to do this work well. So we're going to talk about learning what's possible, knowing the legal facts, collaborating effectively on the IEP, and 4 and 5 are a little more about the how, and then we have our closing reflections and next steps. And somewhere in there, there's going to be an intermission. And please know this, you can always get up, stand, move. You can always stand in the back, dance around, hop around. There are just really no limits to your physical presence in the way that you can be in this room. So me, as someone with ADHD, when I was told to sit in the desk, I came home from kindergarten and said to my mom, well, apparently I'm naughty. And she's like, what? And I go, Mom, do you know about this thing called the desk? She's like, no. There's one for everyone. I said, and you're supposed to stay in it. And she's like, you're kidding. I'm like, no, I'm serious. And guess what else? You can't get out. And so the idea of sitting and looking polite makes me very sweaty. And just so you know, feel free to be any way you want today. You can lay in Shavasana on the floor. I do not care. Kristie loves it, okay? Okay. We're going to start with the end in mind. This is a good friend of ours. His name is Mark Radel, and he lives in New York State, and he, like Claire and Claire's family, wanted to be included every minute of every day of his entire school experience. And you're going to see a quick video of him applying to Syracuse University. Okay?
Yeah, and I think one other thing I'd invite you to do, other than just enjoy meeting Mark, one of the things that I challenge myself is to recognize where I have bias, where I might have something that is like, I was surprised that a kid with Down syndrome would do X, Y, or Z. And then I have to say to myself, why would I be surprised that a student would do X, Y, or Z? Back to Julie's story about Claire's mom saying, well, what do you do when other kids eat glue? Or what do you do when other kids get hit in? I asked myself, why am I surprised in this application to college about anything that is part of Mark's life? Just because he has an extra chromosome? So that's my invitation. If you feel like you want to challenge yourself a little bit, just notice if there's anything in the video that you're like, I'm surprised Mark does that or did that. And so we'll pause it right before he gets notified if whether he gets accepted to Syracuse or not. And then we'll end our day finding out the rest of the story. All right. Let's see if I did the technology today, huh?
So I welcome you to do a quick turn and talk. And I paid attention to who you spoke to the first time. So I'm going to ask you to turn to someone new, make a new friend. And I have that mental map in my head, so don't mess with me. Okay? You can try, but I'll bust you. All right? So everybody turn to somebody and just discuss, what did you think? What did you notice? Ready, go.
Screens and people can't see me switching because you just go right back and then I can get everything ready and then
So good, right?
this is being online.
Right.
So much better.
I wonder if people can see up my shirt. They can't,
Oh.
right?
No. I mean, you can do that.
That's the
but
problem is they do that. I thought to
I
myself,
haven't seen you do it yet.
Well, I know, but I have. Just maybe don't do it. won't help. It won't help. Because I'm like,
Well, that's different than what you did.
yeah, this is the problem.
Lean back and four hands.
I don't know where to fit in Sam.
I don't,
Same but more. Okay, if you can hear me, clap one time. If you can hear me, clap twice. I recognize that a lot of you have stuff in your hands, and you're like, I would, but I can't. Say goodbye to your new best friend. Thank them for their time. Exchange phone numbers if you want. It's all good. Part of this work is about creating a community together where we all do this important work together. So we're about to share with you a ton of resources. And Kristie's going to walk you through where you can find it all. This is, you know who Oprah is, Oprah Winfrey? Yeah. No, you never heard, oh, okay, she's really famous. Anyways, you remember when she used to be like, and you get a car, and you get a car. That, I know it doesn't feel like it, but that's exactly what's happening in your life right now. You are about to get a dashboard. So get ready for it.
it's like nothing like setting me up to be like, but not a car, just the dashboard. All right, so you should have a flyer in your paper handouts today. If you didn't get a paper handout with a flyer, let us know and we'll make sure you get one. Meaning it should have something that looks like what's on my screen behind me with a QR code. And that flyer should have the QR code. It takes you to the dashboard. If I pause long enough, I think the closed captioning won't show and you'll be able to see the full address. Thanks, just keep it off for just a second, thank you. You can take a screenshot. You can wait and see if you like Julie. I know you already like me, so it's okay, but if you wanna wait and see if you like us both, and then you want it again, just let us know. Julie and I have been 25 more than once each. So we're older. And we have a lot of things to share and only a small time together. So we made this like content hub of all of our favorite things for you. And so don't worry about getting to it right now. If you want to, go for it. Start opening, clicking, downloading, forwarding. And then at any time today, if you're like, hey, there was a dashboard I was supposed to get, but I don't see it out in the parking lot, just grab any one of the Fairfax folks or Julie or me, probably better if it's me, and I'll help you get on your dashboard. No offense.
No, you can grab me if you want to talk about anything besides logistics, because I'm good at lots of things, but
Okay.
Logistics, Kristie's your person.
So I'm gonna walk through it and Julie's gonna describe it. So the closed captioning can be put back on and I'm gonna navigate to show you what it looks like. Not that you need to do it or take any action right now, just see if you want it. Okay.
Okay, so Kristie's going to navigate to this dashboard that you all will have access to, and we promise we'll help you get access if you need it. And you'll know you're in the right place when you see, you're doing fine. My face? That's your face. Okay. Okay, when you see my face in the red vest, you'll be like, I'm in the right place. So what this is you'll get to learn more about your presenters. I'm sure you're going to want to do a deep dive into who we are. But if you don't, you're going to move really quickly down to this article. And we've taken this article that we've written, and we've really structured our entire talk around the strategies that are in the article. And what we wrote this article was for the Peel Center, and they said to us, can you write the very best article about how families can access inclusive education? How can we support families to do this work? So we created this beautiful handout with the 5 strategies that you're definitely going to want to check out. Can you print it? Yes. Can you share it? Yes. Can you share this dashboard with anyone? Yes. Do you want to know what people like for a gift during gift giving season? Dashboards. They love it. Handouts also, but dashboards really. Okay? So then you're going to go, oh, what's this pink thing? It says keynote. That's what was happening right now, the keynote. And so you're going to click on the big pink rectangle and it opens. And you're going to be like, whoa. So our PowerPoint slides are there. Our definition of inclusion is there. That article is there. Kristie and I have a podcast that's listened to. It's really kind of popular and fun. And it's 15-minute episodes about inclusion. We have 9 must-have ingredients. We have inclusion benefits, how to talk to families. And the list goes on and on. I guess the point is we've got a lot of PDFs, a lot of supports for you. See why I said it was like a car? Aren't you guys feeling any thoughts about it? Thank you. So
yeah, one person, great.
I'm super glad you're as excited as I am because it's really useful.
And I will also say this afternoon, as Terry said, there's so many choices of great breakout sessions. So if you don't make it to the one that Julie and I are doing, go learn other things. And guess what? You can still have all of our handouts for our breakout sessions this afternoon. Does that make sense? So you're not going to miss a thing. So this is something that has 2 big clicks. Those open up, those pink boxes.
Okay, so that's where you can get everything if you'd like it. We also have our books, we have our blog, we have our podcast if you're interested. So it's all social media if you want to follow us, okay?
Okay, so again, we just want you to know, so if we show a handout or a resource or speak to an episode on our podcast and you're like, I can't keep up, I don't know where, I don't have, you do. It's all in this content hub or what we call a dashboard. You have it forever. Then we always go, who's gonna live longer? And
we don't know.
So we might have to adopt someone to take care of it, you know.
Right.
But you'll have it forever. You can share anything. You do not need extra permission to translate, to edit, to share, to duplicate. I don't know any other verbs.
That's fine.
Okay.
But we're also going to put Mark Radel's video on there, so that video that you just saw, so that you can show it to family members and you can share it also. Okay? So we're going to start with our strategies. And the first strategy about creating an inclusive community and inclusive schools is we need to learn what's possible. So today we started with Claire and we started with Mark because we think those are good examples of what's possible. And we're going to talk about what is inclusion and what isn't it. Because when I say the word inclusion, chances are most of us have a different thought in our head, maybe even than I do. I was at a dinner party and this guy was hitting on me. And you know how that happens all the time to you, right? If people are hitting on you, you're like, oh. So he says to me, what do you do for a living? And I was like, everything I do is about inclusive education. And he goes, oh, I don't believe in that. Right, it's not a good pickup line, right? So I go, well, what do you do for a living? And he's like, I'm a chiropractor. And I was like, well, I don't believe in that either. So the point is that people say all sorts of bananas things about inclusion, like I don't believe in that, or that's not this, or that's not the other thing. We're going to talk about what we mean by inclusion to get everybody on the same page, at least as us. And Fairfax is starting to use these bigger ideas in the ways that they're thinking. I'm going to be really crystal clear with you. Fairfax isn't there yet. Okay? Fairfax isn't there yet. There is a long road ahead, and there is a real deep commitment to this work. So if you're feeling frustrated, and if you're feeling like, I don't know what you're talking about because I'm not seeing it, we understand that, and we're helping support these incredible folks to get there, okay?
And I guess, Julie, I'll say on that top of that too, as you listen to us talk about what inclusion is, we've done this now since January with different groups in the county. We've been meeting with administrators, central office, with teachers. We've made some visits. We're just very new to your community, but we've already had a great opportunity. And then, of course, we were so fortunate to join you today so that we can all be saying the same thing. It doesn't mean it all looks the same, but it is our heart set and our mindset are in the same direction. So when we talk about what is inclusion, when we go into a classroom or we go out on the track field, we can say, is that inclusion or is that not inclusion? It's not a program. It's not a curriculum. It's a way of being. That's a horrible thing to say in a way, because when I went to Ohio for the first time, anybody know Reggio Emilia, the approach for early childhood? Okay, like 5 people, that's good. Okay, I had never heard of Reggio, and it's a very child-directed, very community-based, very family-centered way of serving students. And I came from a very traditional special education background, which was very much one-on-one, not really thinking about my relationship with families. And so I was like observing this Reggio class. But I suspect I was much like Claire's mom. It looked just like a preschool to me. I was like, so I said to the director, which part is Reggio? Like the tree? I don't know. And she says, it's a way of being. And I thought, what in the world? And now I stood up here and I just said, inclusion is a way of being. And so I'm sorry, but it is. And so you'll hear us talk about these kind of lofty ideals, but it's what drives our decision. How we think about, how we write about, and how we talk about one another will dictate our actions. So we want to think about and talk about and write about Claire in ways that speak to her possibilities. Okay? So Julie's going to do a bit of a read aloud, and you can think of what are the key words that resonate with your heart. What kind of things would you like to see if you walked into a classroom? So we're going to start with the definition, and then we're going to unpack, well, what does it look like in practice?
Okay. As I do this read aloud, like Kristie said, you're going to turn and talk at the end of the first paragraph and share what speaks to your heart in that paragraph. Okay? Inclusive education means we no longer accept that separate classrooms, separate schools, and separate lives are in the best interest of any student. Separating people by ability disadvantages everyone. Belonging is a human need. Our educational system, practices, and spaces need to be reimagined. I'm going to pause. You have a visual support there, and you're just going to turn and talk. What word struck you or words struck you? You have 30 seconds. Ready? Go. Invite people in. Look around. If someone's not included, invite them. Invite them. Invite them.
You won't probably care, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Around 10:30, I'm going to, or I'll make it so they can get permission. Okay?
And then Sam might be fun to get back. No? Right when they get back?
Do not do that.
Oh, why?
I didn't say no or yes. You said you go like this. That will be for the good, for the back end. No, no.
Watch this, ready?
Okay.
Try to take two. After the break, I'd like to do Sam.
Perfecto.
Okay. And a hush fell over the room. Shh. Isn't that rude? I love it so much. It's like you're shushing each other, but I'm not having to do it. It's so awesome. So I appreciate it. Okay, how many people, just by raise of hand, how many people talked about the word separate or separate?
I always do.
Yeah. How many people talked about the phrase separating people by ability disadvantages everyone? Ooh. How many people use the phrase belonging is a human need?
Oh, a lot of people.
And guess what else? Learning requires belonging. Did you know that? Okay, the last one is, how many people used the word reimagined?
Yep.
Yeah. Systems, spaces, practices, reimagining those things. Now I'm going to read the second half, and you get to turn to the same partner. Don't worry, you can stay with that same friend.
She
okay?
wasn't paying attention last time.
Right. Inclusive education means every student is valued, because of their strengths, gifts, and even challenges, as disability is simply diversity. Everyone benefits from meaningful participation and opportunity to create grade-level content with diverse peers. We must trust that all students come to us as incredible, whole people who do not need to be fixed. Amen. Okay, turn and talk. Ready, go.
I have no idea. I mean, yes and no. No, if we wanted to get all 852,000 slides covered. Yes, if it meant that people are engaged and we're covering the right content. They have the article, so it's not like we're in the dashboard.
Okay, I'm going to bring you back with Sweet Caroline, so get ready. Sweet Caroline.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, so good. Your singing is excellent. How many people talked about the phrase disability is just diversity?
Yep.
Raise your hand if you've ever heard of Brown versus Board of Education. Just out of oh, you have? Okay, good. Phew. Guess what it says? You can't separate people by race. Guess what we're talking about? Not separating people by disability. Same concept. Different group of people, right? Good. How many people?
Sometimes the same group of people.
Often the same group of people. Thank you, Kristie. How many people highlighted the word meaningful participation? We're not talking about crappy inclusion where we just drop kids off and hope it works. We're talking about really good, supportive, inclusive education. It's different, okay? How many people liked the phrase incredible whole people who do not need to be fixed?
Me.
Right, that got an amen, didn't it? That's the part, right? Special education has been a place and space where we're obsessed by students' deficits. Does anyone in here, just if you're willing, raise your hand if you have a deficit area, like something you're not good at? Wait, what?
A couple people were hesitant. They were like, do I really? And then their partner was like, yes.
Oh my goodness, we all have deficits and we all have strengths. And in special education, the world of it, we go like this. Just how many standard deviations below the norm are you on this particular subtest? We're gonna write it down in an IEP. Another question, raise your hand if you've ever done something you're not proud of.
They were a little more quick on that one.
Okay, how about today? Has anyone done something today you're not proud of?
Okay.
Yeah, me too. Okay, perfect. I'm among friends, Kristie.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. So what we do in special ed is we go, in 4th grade, this child tipped a desk. They were so angry they tipped a desk. And we write about it and we keep it in the file. And we talk about it in 5th grade and 6th grade and for certain 7th grade because this is a desk flipper. And yet, we all do things we're not proud of often. I doubt it was flipped desks, but I'm certain that you've done some things that would surprise me. Kristie and I get to do our introductions of ourselves. You could have gotten a very different introduction of me if I just put all the things I had done that I'm not proud of and then shared it with you in a document called something, and you had to read it before you came here. You'd think, I'm not going to listen to those people.
We would all said, you have Julie as your keynote? Julie.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So in special ed, we're obsessed with deficit, and I think it should be flipped. We need to be obsessed with the strengths, gifts, and talents of our students, and we need to figure out workarounds for the challenges. We very well know that there are challenges. Don't get me wrong. As someone with ADHD, I have significant challenges all day, every day, and we work around them, and we celebrate how my brain is unique. That's part of the goal in Fairfax. Kristie, explain the next part of the handout just so they can get a sense of it, because it's on their dashboard.
I don't have the slide in there?
No?
Okay. We'll do it a little quickly then. So there are 9 ingredients to what is inclusion. So we are talking about the heart set and the mindset. And again, maybe I'll just make a quick tie back. When you were watching Mark in his application to the university, anybody feel confident to just yell out or sign something that you noticed you were surprised Mark did? Playing basketball or like making the shot? Driving, that was always mine. And I've seen it 800 times, and every time I'm like, keep your eyes on the road. But why? Anyone else?
Going to the prom. He was prom king. It's not
With red shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so, yeah. Can you repeat it?
Being supported by his peers.
Like, why wouldn't he have friends?
I texted him the other day. I don't want to give away the secret.
Oh, yeah.
I texted him the other day. I can do it without it. I texted him the other day, and I was like, what are you up to, Mark? I just showed your video, and people loved it. And he quickly sent me a selfie with him surrounded by 6 women his age, and he was at a bar, and I was like, oh, perfect. Yeah, good. So, yeah, he's very supported by peers. I just really love that you noticed that.
Yeah, so thank you for shouting that out, because that some people go, we need more of the how, and we want to remind people that much of the how is changing our history, our mindset, our beliefs, our presumptions. So when Julie's saying, you know, we have a history of looking at deficits, on Monday, there will be teams all over Fairfax, all over the United States, who are determining if a kid is so many standard deviations below the mean and which program will best meet their needs. It's how we do business. And what we're asking is that we do business differently. Not that we're asking anyone to do what Julie termed crappy inclusion. This is why we get together. This is why we have professional development, because we need to develop our skills as educators, leaders, and family members to know how best to meet needs. We thought maybe I could meet your needs over here at the Rainbow School. And I'm probably doing a really good job. I almost said a swear word. We could do a really good job of it. So this is not about blaming or shaming any of our past or current practices, but it's about saying we know better and we can do better. We just have to change some things. Well, you can't see them, but there are 9 things, and we don't have a visual for you, so I'm going to go quickly. But there are 9 big ingredients. And on the dashboard, there's a podcast. There are links to resources for each of them. But there are things like we have to create welcoming spaces. We have to be able to hire people who have the mindset, to the fortitude to adapt and not worry about the fire hazard in Claire. We have to differentiate. You hear a lot from our colleagues about universal design, and if you haven't, you'll continue to hear that. It's part of the culture. Inclusion will not fix crappy instruction either. So if we have general education classrooms and instruction that's not good, inclusion is just going to shine a light on it. And then people are going to be like, ooh, the kid can't get their needs met here. And I'll say, I want to take all of the kids because nobody can get their needs met here. So it's nothing against educators at all. I'm an educator. Everyone in my family's an educator. We serve educators every day. But we can do and learn new things. And again, inclusion isn't on the back of educators. It's not for each individual teacher. It's up to this whole group here. It's the group that stayed with us last night, that are some here again today. It's every administrator that joined us all day yesterday. It's all the planning that the central office has gone through. It's going to be a journey, okay? So we'll just say that there are 9 ingredients. And when inclusion doesn't feel right, it's not meeting your kid's need, we're probably missing an ingredient. So what we'd like folks to do is say, let's look at those 9 ingredients. Maybe we're missing one. Maybe, like, you know, Julie said the other night when we were getting our dinner, she's like, oh, salt. Salt was what I was missing last night, right? I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, and he's welcome to stay, and we can totally adapt to any sort of noise.
Yeah,
at
we're
any
used to
time.
it.
So everybody relax. It's totally good. We can handle it.
So
Okay,
there you go.
totally
Those
good.
are the 9 ingredients. More on the dashboard. We'll
Yeah.
keep moving.
So Kristie's going to get us into the Circle Makers video. With this video, we...
And sorry, Julie, let's take a break after that. So set up the whole thing.
Okay, whenever I'm on a stage, I cannot. I just want to dance. Okay, I forgot what I was doing because I was dancing, but I'm back, and you said we're going to take a break after the video. So I'm going to set up the video, but I wanted to say something else. The video is from PBS. They asked us to do an animated video about what is inclusive education. This is on your dashboard. You can share it. You can use it. You can have a family movie night, actually, tonight with it. It's 5 minutes, so that's the right amount of time. The other thing I was going to tell you is when we say strategies, we're like a lot of strategies are needed, I'm going to give an example of a strategy we've used 3 times. It's called a turn and talk. Okay, remember, see how tricky it was? We said turn your body and talk to someone. Why did we say that? I want you to compare a turn and talk to a raise and respond. If I said raise your hand and share with me one idea you've already learned today, what happens? Everybody freezes. Some people fake take notes. They're like, oh, yes, mm-hmm. A lot of people look at your shoes. You're like, it's untied, right? You mostly lose my eye gaze because why? No one wants to talk in a room like this, that's this big. It's risky. We don't know each other very well yet, okay? In school, kids feel the same way every day. So instead of the raise and respond, when everybody does a turn and talk, everybody gets to share their ideas. Okay? Now, let's imagine Claire's in your class, and you're like, but Claire doesn't use verbal speech. Perfect. Claire doesn't use verbal speech, so we have her eye gaze set up to be able to say yes, no. We have her eye gaze set up to be able to give an example or an idea. It's ready to go because we've thought about her inclusion. We're not just sitting her in the classroom. So during this conversation that she's having with someone else, they're giving her a bunch of choices, and she's making choices, and she's having a beautiful conversation. So that's what we mean by strategies. Just so you know, it's not that tricky. It's just kind of really good teaching. All right? Okay, during the Circle Makers, you're going to jot down or think about what strikes you in this 5-minute film.
And Julie, I called it a break, but we're going to do an intermission. So after the video, you can pop right up, and you're welcome to go out and take a bio break. I think there's more snacks. You can grab any of us if you want to get on the dashboard. The only thing I don't know is how long it is, so don't go very far, and we'll just start calling people back, okay?
I think it's like 10 minutes.
I don't know.
I had 10 minutes written down, so it'll be a 10-minute break. Okay?
Sure.
This is co-teaching. This is what it's like to co-teach, and it's a blast. Okay.
All right, friends. You got 15 minutes, we were informed, over the video for an intermission. So look at your watches, look at your clocks. You're welcome to stay in here, talk about the video, ask questions, enjoy your break.